excerpts from any of our meetings recently? You have any excerpts from any of our meetings?
Last week. It's gonna be on the page this weekend. Yeah. Praise be to Allah. It's not. All means out of open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All rise and face the east. All those who wish to work with us, please stand with 5 fingers on the left and 2 on the right and repeat after me. Allah,
Allah,
Father of the universe,
Father of the universe,
Father of love,
Father of love,
truth,
truth,
peace,
peace,
freedom,
freedom,
and justice.
and justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my guide,
my God,
and my salvation,
and my salvation,
by night
by night
and by day,
and by day,
through his holy prophet,
through his holy prophet,
through Ali.
through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
You may receive. Having risen in prayer, I'd like to continue by praising Allah, that great and universal God, that causes cause, that rootless root from which all things have arose. I'd like to extend honor, and as a Moorish American Muslim, I should never forget to extend honor to his holy and illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali, born January 8, 1886, in the state of North Carolina. I extend honor to the prophet's forerunner, Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who said, up, you mighty race, and accomplish what you will. I extend honor to our first Supreme Grand Sheikh appointed by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Brother Edward Mealy Ill, and to all past and present leaders from that point to this. I extend honor, a special honor, to Grand Temple 13, here in Baltimore, the home office of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I extend honor to our Supreme Grand Council, to our temple staff, to our members. I extend honor to all whom honors are truly due. Islam?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, I'd like to read to you and for you the divine Constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the divine Constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because only Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and only Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in life all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Islam? Islam. As usual, I left my glasses, but nevertheless, praise be to Allah. I'm reading from the Quran Questions for Moorish Americans. The great meeting is on. The Quran Questions for Moorish Americans, page 7. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand Sheikhs and governors and heads of all businesses. Grand Sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adab meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing round on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation, to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is the enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopian, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name, to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings to become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you're entitled to the name of favor. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, noble drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Islam? Islam. At this time I'd like to read from the Holy Quran, from the Moorish Science Temple of America. Divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali by the guidance of his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe. To redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father, God Allah. Before proceeding to the chapter, I'd like to declare my intentions according to page 3 so that it may be understood if any mistakes are made on either speaker, not the prophet nor his literature, surely not upon Allah, for Allah is perfect. From page 3 I quote, "Dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus." This week's chapter is chapter 1, the creation and fall of man. Time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be, because there was a time when they were not. The bodies and souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yea, from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Created fate gave to man, to spirit man, a soul, that he might function on the plane of soul. Gave him a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest. Why did created fate give the spirit man a soul that he might function on the plane of soul? Why did created fate give to soul a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest? Hear now, ye seraphim, ye cherubim, ye angels and ye men. Hear now, O protoplasm, and earth and plant and beast. Hear now, ye creeping things of the earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear now, ye winds that blow, ye thunders and ye lightnings of the sky. Hear now, you spirits of the fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is or was or evermore will be, for wisdom speaks from the highest plane of spirit life. Man is a thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time. For the things that are concerned with time begin and end. Thoughts of Allah are the everlasting of the past unto the never-ending days to come. And so is man, the spirit man. Islam.
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 As always, this is a beautiful chapter and a timely chapter in a troubled times that we live in. You know, the question, man has pondered and asked the question throughout ages. Who am I?
Islam.
Where did I come from? What am I made of? What is the composition of man? These questions have been asked from the beginning of time as we understand it. In this chapter, our prophet does for us what no other prophet had to do throughout time. And that is to explain to us the creation and fall of man. You see, when we look at the scriptures, we'll find that all of the scriptures talk about the creation. You know, in the Bible it talks about the creation being made, especially in Genesis 1. It talks about the creation. It talks about let us make man in our image, and in the image of God man was made. It talks about, in the Bible, it talks about male and female. You know, he and him, and call their name Adam. You know, That's in the Bible. In the Holy Quran of Mecca, it says that man was made from the best of molds.
That's right.
It said man was made from a single pair. It says man was created, let's say, man was created out of total triple darkness.
Right.
But nowhere in either scriptures does it tell you the various stages that
right.
man had to go in to make his descent here on this plane of things made manifest.
That's right, Mom.
We only find that in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, where the prophet gives us the blueprint of life. He gives us the purpose of our life, all in one chapter. You know, there's many things that we can say about this chapter. If any chapter in the Quran is adapt, and they all are, this one is most definitely an adapt chapter.
That's right.
This is one of those chapters that you can read repeatedly and still find yourself opening up to more and more information each time you read it. The chapter starts off by saying, time never was when man was not. Now we understand time to be a physical thing. It is the measurement from one point to another over a interval in movement. See, because time is movement.
Wow.
It's a measure of movement.
That's right.
But it's a physical measure. The prophet says, time never was when man was not. What is he saying? He is essentially saying that man is older than time.
That's right.
See, when you start talking about man, the true man, the spirit man, because the chapter lets us know that the thoughts of Allah are not measured or not concerned with time. See, so when we look at man, there's no time. When he came about when Allah came about.
That's right.
Well, he is a thought of Allah. Allah said be, and thus man came into being. You know? And when we come on this plane, we have a duty on this plane. The end of that duty is to do what? Become again one with Allah. So we're here to make a full circle. There are some things that we should be doing here. So the prophet asked 2 questions. He said, why did created faith give to spirit man a soul that he might function on this plane, on the plane of soul? And why did he give the soul a body of flesh that it might function on the plane of things made manifest?
More.
In other words, what are we supposed to be doing in this body and with this soul
That's right.
while we're on this plane? Matter of fact, while we're on this earth journey. Our prophet tells us in our Quran questions, he says that in our Sunday school, everyone should be given an opportunity to exercise their 5 senses.
That's what it said.
We understand these 5 senses which he referred to is thinking, willing,
I understand. It's not.
reason, understanding?
Yes,
Is
sir.
those the 5 senses he's talking about? Or is he talking about the basic 5 senses? See, smell, taste, hear, and touch. Let's start there.
Come on,
Then
Bob.
from those 5, of course, you know, people have the 5 questions of who, what, when, how.
Right.
But nevertheless, they're only an exercise of one of the senses. You see, those basic senses that we have been given to us to gather information.
Right.
See, through our nose, through the art or the gift of smell, through the gift of taste, touch, and sight. We are supposed to gather information.
That's right.
And it is with this information that we gather and bring into our mind or into our soul that now we exercise that thinking, that who, what, when, where, and how pertaining to the questions.
Right.
See, you can't answer them questions until you use the other senses to determine what's going on,
That's right. Come on, Mom.
what's being said.
That's right.
If a question is asked, you have to use those senses to detect that the question is asked so you can begin to analyze the question through the who, what, when, where, hows
That's right.
to be able to give an answer. You know?
That's
Of course, we do all that with one of, or with the combined faculties of the soul, or the attributes of the soul. The prophet tells us in here about the soul attributes, coming a body beautiful. It is when these soul attributes are body beautiful, meaning fully functional or properly functional, that we're operating, you know, on all points. See, it's when it's a body beautiful. See, that term body beautiful means that they're symmetrical. They're in order, they're in harmony.
That's right, Mama.
See, that's why the chapter tells us, it's saying these soul attributes became, these soul attributes became a body beautiful. Didn't talk about the multiple lessons being learned here. Because I don't want to go all the way into the chapter, but I want to touch some things there. Because the prophet tells us, and I'm going to start us off. See, the prophet tells us, he lays out a blueprint in this chapter. And he says in this blueprint that this man, this spirit man that has been created is going to have certain things. He's going to have a soul that will allow him to function on the plane of soul. He is going to have a body of flesh which allows him to function on this plane here. See, that's already, in the blueprint from the very beginning. Once we get to here now, see, we done left the blueprint because the blueprint is in the first part. It tells you. But then it say here now. Here now, or hop now, meaning to stop, stand, still, and listen.
That's right.
Something is about to be said. And then the prophet makes a roll call here.
That's right. That's right.
He makes a roll call.
Come on, Mama.
And after making a roll call, he is saying, stand still
That's right, Mama.
and listen. Ye angels,
That's right.
ye shepherds, you champions, and you men. Here now the spirit of earth, air, fire, and water. He's telling them all, here now, stand still. Man is about to come on the scene. That's what it's saying here. Because when you get down here, it says wisdom. This wisdom that speaks here is Allah.
Come on, Mama.
It says wisdom speaks from the highest planes of spirit life. Let you know that there are more than one plane. The word highest lets you know there's more than one plane of spirit life. It says wisdom speaks from the highest. Allah sits at the highest plane of spirit life. And this wisdom that speaks, what did it say? When you go down here, it says, man is the thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time. The things that are concerned with time begin and end. The things that are concerned with Allah and the Spirit have no beginning, no end.
That's right.
Thus man has no beginning, no end.
That's right.
That's right. See, what happens on this plane is that the body simply changes form. That's all.
That's right.
See, it's like matter. It says that matter, you learn in school, it says matter is indestructible.
That's right.
It simply changes form.
That's right.
That's all. And so is man. The prophet gives us a key in here when he says that the bodies and souls of men are, finite things.
That's right.
And he said from a finite, listen to the word, he said from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more.
That's right.
But what about from the infinite point of view? Because what is the body and soul of man other than the ether vibrating at a slower rate?
That's right.
See, we learned that when Jesus was placed in the tomb.
Come on, Mama.
The records say body is manifest of soul, but soul is without is manifest.
You said.
And in the realms of souls unmanifest, the Lord went and taught.
That's right.
You understand it? Break it down right there. When Jesus was placed in there, he speeded the ethers up of the body to the rate of soul.
Come on, Mama.
See, so that the body could not be seen. So when they looked, they didn't see the body.
That's right, Mama.
See, later on, as he slowed the ethers down, it said he opened his eyes so they could see the body then. See, that's one of the degrees, one of the gifts of man. Jesus demonstrated that same gift when he said he could cross the borderline at will. That's the ability to control one ethers.
That's right.
See those odors, those perfumes and true sensations that they talk about in chapter 1. See, there comes a time when you're able to control that stuff.
Yes, Lord.
See, and then you can manifest in those places. You know, when Jesus is placed in the tomb, you know, we find that even the Master Jesus in the tomb needed some help. See, it said that when the body was placed in the tomb, they said the white-clad soldiers came.
Come on, Mom.
Said they marched and counter-marched. See, the soldiers seen them was frightened of these things. But what were they? Because when they tried, the soldiers went straight through them. See, so what had happened here? The ephesus was slowed down to the rate of sight, but not the rate of touch. You understand? In this day and time, we call that a ghost. You know, where you can see it, but you go right through it. But we learn as Moorish Americans, that's no more than controlling the ethers. Because the masters around the world knew the prophecy of Jesus, knew the night he's supposed to be risen from the dead. They were sitting in a circle, meditating on that demonstration.
That's right.
And as they begin to meditate, they begin to project their spirit body. Some call it the astral body. They project that demonstration. And they came down there to Jesus in the tomb and said the tomb became a blazing light. See, and while the tomb was a blazing light, what happened? It said now, the Lord did not sleep within the tomb. It said body is manifest of soul. Soul without is manifest. And in the realms of souls unmanifest, the Lord went and taught.
That's what it says.
That's what it says. Islam seekers.
Islam.
Say the Lord went and taught. See, where did he teach? He was on the plane of soul. How do we know? It said that when he got there, it said he had to let the captive free. You understand? It said he had to set the captive free. Huh?
What is that?
The captive souls. And free the prisoner. What were they in prison for? On the plane of soul. They were prisoners and captives to their own thoughts. Jesus had to come up there and show them how to overcome those thoughts in order to move on.
Right.
You understand? That's what's going on. They had to do that. See, so now that's in the middle of the Quran. But we learned that, the basic principles of that, from chapter 1.
That's right, Mom.
See, because in that chapter, the prophet says in that chapter, it talks about the spirit man as the seed of Allah. It said that this spirit man held deep within him the attributes of every part of Allah. Allah is love. We can love. Allah is peace. We can have peace. Allah is wisdom. We can be wise. See, we have the attributes of God within us. You understand? No, individually we're not God, and we're not God until we're one with God, because then you're absorbed in God. See, that's the deific life that you're struggling to reach. But right now, we're separate entities moving on earth, gathering the necessary information to elevate us to the level of the God-man. See, that's what you get first, the God-man. See, because from there, that's when everything is set in order.
That's right.
See, that's what Jesus came to demonstrate. The record said he was the first to demonstrate that.
That's right.
See, the possibilities of man, the resurrection of the dead. He was the first to demonstrate that in that form. See, there was other forms of resurrection. Now, I gotta say this. See, you know, they tell us about that in the Bible. But there were other forms of resurrection. You know, resurrection to raise someone up out of something or from a dead state. The maiden touched Jesus' garment. He said, somebody touched me. Huh? Didn't he say that? Made her whole. That's what the record said. You know, the other one was Lazarus. Huh? Lazarus, the record said that Lazarus, not only was he dead, the record said that Lazarus was dead and stinking when Jesus got there. Matter of fact, he was dead and stinking so bad that Mary told Jesus, say, Jesus, Lazarus would have been alive if you had came when we called you. You understand? That's what they told Jesus. But see, Jesus understood and shared with them this, See, Jesus didn't come before time, behind time. Jesus came on time, the same way the prophet came on time. And he proved that. He proved that when he looked up in there. He said, Lazarus! Lazarus? Because he called Lazarus 3 times. Remember the earlier resurrections, he called once, then twice. Said Lazarus the 3rd time. Said Lazarus stood up. Said stood up. He had his burned down. Said his hands was tied and his eyes was covered. What did Jesus say? Let him loose. Huh? Huh? He opened his eyes up. They couldn't believe it. See, Jesus was on time.
That's right.
He was on time. Prophet Noble, he was on time when he came to us. Because he told us the same thing. Come on in the Moorish Science Temple of America with all your problems. Come on in here with your dead clothes and all that in there. Come on in here stinking. But once you get in there, you got to obey my voice so I can tell them, let you loose. You see what I'm saying? So he can tell that naught and command that naught to let you loose. Because what is the prophet but a thought of Allah? That means that when God speaks, things happen. Prophet said, let him loose. Huh?
Come on, Mom.
Why? That's because God's speaking. See, we have to understand that. See, we have to understand that. Once we understand that, then we understand the power of this movement. Because when we repeat what the prophet said, he said, every word I speak is spirit. You know? And you more better heed. See, if you understand the spirit in his voice, then you understand the power that he has. See, because then you will have power with him. See, he said, do as I do, say as I say. Hold me up to men, and I'll draw them unto you. What is he saying? Why? Why hold him up? Why? He's the manifest thought of God. He is the thought that we have to get in tune with.
That's right.
He is the thought that told and explained to us the beginning of chapter 1.
That's right.
He is the one. See, the prophet lets us know in this chapter. He tells us that a soldier never knows his strength until he meets a foe. He's again telling us a part of the reason why we're here on earth. It's like that acorn in the dirt. That acorn has to struggle, consistently struggle against the dirt, push it and push it and push it until it pops up to become the mighty oak tree. Is that right?
Come on, Mom.
Huh?
Islam.
Huh? But it got to start from the seed.
That's right.
And that's how we do. We come on this earth, we just about a seed.
That's right.
See, and we don't know that much in the beginning. And as we travel through the earth, we begin to gather things.
Right.
See, when Allah brought us with an additional piece, He blessed us with a free will, with the ability to choose, to distinguish right from wrong.
That's right.
He gave us that.
Come on, Mom.
You know,
That's right.
but over the years sometimes, it's like a sharp knife on a shelf. That's just like a dull knife, because they ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Islam.
See, over the years, Prophet Muhammad says that we were born Muslims, but it is our parents, it is the world that teaches us away from Islam.
Right.
Tell us that we're everything but a Muslim.
Right.
See, and that is what happened in the journey. There's one story told in one of the scriptures. It said, man looked down into this fountain, if you will. You know how you look in water and you can see your reflection. It said he looked in and seen his reflection, and becoming in love with his reflection, he descended into the pool. You understand what I'm saying? The record say, why? Just to gratify his lower self. See, man was still king when he was on this plane. When he first come down here, he was still in tune with Allah. But the records in chapter 1 say that it soon became a foe.
That's right.
That means after time, after man dealing with the environment and where he was after time, he began to make bad decisions. What do I mean? He had to eat on this plane. He could no longer draw from the eaters of the spirit. He had to eat here. So he started off eating right, but as time went on, he started eating anything, putting all kinds of stuff in his mouth. Thus he become obese and all that. That's a sin. See, he's moving away from God now.
Come on, Mom.
See, it's even like procreation, ain't that the word? You understand? Man and woman. See, but now man been on the earth and he been jumping around for a minute here, jumping around for a minute there. Now it's to become what? It's become perverted now. You understand? Moving away from God. You understand why? He had to make decisions. See, that's where we went wrong in the decision-making process. Just to do what? The record said, just to gratify your lower self.
That's right.
See, what is the lower self? The lower self is the body of desires. You understand? See, and it starts off with them innate desires. What do I mean? Hunger, for example. The desire to eat. The yearning to eat. If you don't control it, you might eat anything. You understand? In this day and time, they eat toes and all. You understand why? Because you done lost sight. You done lost sight. That's what this chapter about. Regaining sight. Regaining who we are.
Come on, Bo. That's
See,
right.
regaining who we are. Understanding that there's a God within us.
That's right.
Understanding that it is that God within us that we are supposed to exercise as we travel through this earth. See, it take a while to understand that. Right now, see, we're used to this. We're used to these senses here. Oh, that's hard. How I know? I hit it, my hand hurt. You know? See, but if I understand, man, then I know that not just like I hit this hand, my hand can go through here too.
That's right.
Still, you talking spookism.
right.
That's what they say. You can go in school. You go in school right now, they tell you that a cement wall is vibrating.
That's right.
It's vibrating at a slower rate than water. Water vibrating a little faster. The faster it vibrates, the softer the material.
That's right.
You understand? That's why. It said, where? It said, no, the question asks you, can you see Allah? Can we see Allah? No. Why you can't see Allah? It's vibrating at a higher rate than your eyes can register.
That's right.
See, your eyes can't register it if that rate is vibrating on. See, we only can register it on 7 levels, you know? That's all. Just like the 7 levels of sight correspond with the 7 musical notes, correspond with the 7 nerve demonstrations down the spine.
Right, that's shot.
You understand? Sure. See? So we only can go but so far. You know, can you see a lot? No, you can't see if it's too close, you can't see if it's too far. You can't see if it's too vast or too tiny. You understand?
That's right.
Huh?
Come on, Bo.
All right, because what? A lot don't conform to the rules of manifest sight.
That's right.
You have to understand that. The record say, where's the nearest place we can meet it? Say, in the heart. Everybody look for that physical. They ain't talking that physical heart.
Right. Come on, Bo.
Huh? The physical heart belongs to the physical man.
right.
Man is not the body nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of the law. Thus the heart of man is the center, the innermost part of man.
That's right.
The center of man. The very core of man.
That's right.
The spirit in man.
That's right.
That's where you meet Allah in spirit. You can't meet Allah in that old physical heart.
That's right.
You can't meet him in that old dirty mind. Because God don't come in a dirty place.
Come on.
You understand? You got to raise your thoughts. That's why we're saying here, I raise my thoughts. See, you got to raise your thoughts to talk to God. You be thinking you're talking to God while you're talking to the devil. You understand? If you don't raise them thoughts,
That's right.
you're in there talking to yourself. Calling yourself God. See, you can tell by the end result.
That's right.
See, because the end result of dealing with God is peace. The end result of dealing with God is love. Why? Prophet says in Act 3 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, our law is love. You understand? That's what he said. In the Bible, John 1, he said in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God because the Word was God and did dwell with us in Jesus. That's what it said. Our record tells us that what? Jesus, Son of Mary, is a manifestation of love.
That's right, Bo.
That's why our prophecy is so
Praise
important.
Allah.
That's right.
It is so important that we learn to love instead of hate. He in fact lets you know that you cannot uplift your people without love. That's why he said if you got race pride and love your race,
That's what he said.
join. If you don't have them things, he didn't say join.
Right.
Huh?
Come on, Bo.
You got to have love for your race to join this, to have any power.
That's right.
That's why he said we need to learn to love because you can't do nothing in hate.
That's
You
right.
can't do nothing in hate. You ain't gonna get nothing accomplished in hate.
Nothing, Bo.
You have to create an atmosphere of love.
That's
And it
right.
don't come overnight, it take a little work.
That's right.
You understand? Because it means bringing the God into the atmosphere.
That's right.
That's why the records say 2, 3 gathered in my name. I'll be in the midst of thee. I ask the question all the time when we come together. It's more than 3 of us in here. Is the prophet in the room? Because if the prophet ain't in the room, then we ain't right yet.
Islam.
See, it's simple as that.
Bo.
See, you know when the prophet's in the room, the prophet's in the room when the spirit's moving.
That's right.
When you can feel this demonstration.
Come on,
That's
Bob.
why I say I gave you something that you can shout about. You supposed to shout about this here. You know where your salvation coming from. See, you only worry when you don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
See, we walked many roads in life. I know I have. Many times that I thought that, oh man, I ain't gonna make it. This road looked dark to me. You understand? But there was one thought I kept holding on to, that there's a God in the universe somewhere. I said, there's a God. I don't know where right now, but there's a God. I said, if I just hold on to the thought that there's a God, then I can walk through this. And so enough, here we are. A little gray. You understand? Not as young as I used to be. Feet hurt, but I'm still walking. You understand? God has allowed me to walk another day, walk another month, year on this earth. Why? Because there's some more godly work. Listen to what I said. There's some godly work He wants me to do, wants you to do. That's why we're here. We're in chapter 1 tonight. That's where we're at. We're in chapter 1, the creation and fall of man. And when you talk about the creation and fall of man, we ain't talking about he fell down like he done something wrong. That ain't what the chapter talking about. The chapter talking about the descent from spirit into the earth form. That's what it's talking about. Matter of fact, if you look in the chapter, there's several creations that'll fall up in there. You just got to look in there and find it. That's all. This is a powerful chapter.
Yes, indeed.
Tonight, I'll be calling our minister to speak on this all-powerful chapter. The creation and fall of man. See, because without an understanding of the creation and fall of man, you cannot truly resurrect man. See, because you have to understand how you unwind to wind it back up. If you understand what I'm saying. How he came down. See, the record says that Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, was, evermore be he the husbandman. He said, threw forth this human seed into the soul of soul. See, it said that when it came into this soil, it said it grew apace. That means to speed up. And it grew apace, and man became a living soul. What is being said there? Let me try to explain this here to you. When the seed man was on the spirit plane, there's only one force. The dominant force on the spirit plane is Allah. Thus, the spirit man's seed on the spirit plane was dormant in the presence of Allah. So the seed had to be moved further out and planted in another soul where the ethers on the plane of soul not vibrating as fast as they were in the spirit plane. They've been slowed down. And on this plane, this seed has been planted. And when it's planted there, say it grew apace.
Come on.
Now, see, it grew apace, meaning it took a step faster than our vibration. It said that man became a living soul. Now he made sure he said it was living now. See, he said the odors, the perfumes, and the true sensations, and the all of life was manifested. Then it said, and so was man manifested. See, several things happened there. See, in order for man to be moved from one plane to another, he needed a supporting cast. You understand? That's why you had the rest of the Elohim.
Come on,
Bees. That's why you had that. When you talk about the spirit plant, you're talking about all flowers, plants, and trees that you see. And why are they here? They're only here as long as man's here. See, the rest of them have no other purpose other than man's supporting cast. These things help to maintain us here on this planet.
That's right.
The beasts, all of that stuff. Remove any of that stuff and we're lost. Now, 2 of them didn't fall.
That's right.
See, it said they didn't fall. The angels didn't fall. Why? It said their will was never strong.
right.
That means it lets you know the distinction between the angels and man. For it is only man that can say no to God.
Right.
No other creature on earth, no other creature in the universe can say no. Even the trees bow down to God. You understand? The plants, you see, it look like when the sun go down, they do like that. You understand? Everything bows down to God. It is only man, and that's the lesson in the Holy Quran of Mecca. When they talk about, you know, Allah, again, this going back to chapter 1. Allah makes a roll call in that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, when they call the angels.
Come on, right.
See, when the Quran of Mecca, when they say Allah called the angels and Iblis came, the reason why Iblis would even be there or make any sense in the statement, because if you understand, Iblis wasn't an angel.
That's
See,
right.
the Quran of Mecca said that angels are made of light and Iblis of smokeless fire.
That's right.
See, it's two different entities.
That's right.
So
Right.
when it said Iblis refused and didn't bow down, he wasn't no angel.
That's right.
No, when he talk about Iblis refused, he talking the Lord nature of man is the only thing that could refuse.
That's right, Mom.
And when Prophet Muhammad was asked, did he have a jinn? And the word jinn is from the word meaning hidden. That means that hidden or lower self. He said yes. He said, but he had suppressed his lower self and made it a helpmate to the journey upward. You understand? And that's what we're supposed to do. That's what chapter 1 is giving us the keys, so that you can learn how to suppress the lower self and rise to that higher. That's what this chapter is about.
That's right.
See, this is a good chapter here. This is one of them chapters when a Moorish American open his mouth. He should be able to keep running, or she should be able to keep running with this chapter for hours.
That's right.
That's how many blessings in this demonstration.
That's long.
You know, and I didn't even wear my glasses tonight. I'm gonna tell you, when I look down, the words are foggy, but I remember the chapter.
That's right.
See, God been good.
That's right.
God been good. When the eyes was better, he let me see.
That's right.
You understand? When the mind was younger, he enabled me to remember.
That's right.
And then he blessed me to maintain and hold that. Oh, ain't Allah good?
Yes, indeed.
Huh? Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. How you feeling, Brother Chairman? You feeling good tonight? Praise be to Allah. You know, it's a good chapter. And what I'm going to do, because truly, see, this is one of the chapters where I can just go and keep on talking about the good things in this chapter. But what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to call one of our ministers. The first minister that I call tonight is our beloved chairman, Brother K. Cunningham M. And I'm going to call the sheik forward, to demonstrate this beautiful chapter.
Yes, Mom.
To share with you and I his portion. Islam.
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 Praise God. Wonderful chapter.
Praise the Lord.
Arise, giving praise to Allah, giving honor to the Prophet Ali, giving honor to the forward of the Prophet Muhammad, God, who came with the lions, who will stand up in the mighty nation, who comes with your will, one God, one aim, one destiny. Standing honor to the first appointed Supreme Grand Chief of the will, standing honor to our Supreme Grand Council, standing honor to our Grand Major Temple 13, and our Grand Sheikhs, Sister D. right there, standing honor to her staff, standing honor to Friday, the holy day for all moms all over the world, standing honor to each and every one of you. Islam?
Islam.
Oh, it's a wonderful chapter. And it's a wonderful day. Friday is the holy day for all moms all over the world. Before going into the chapter, I'd like to go to page 3. Declare my intentions, so that if there's any mistakes, it's on Brother K. Cunningham L. Not a law, nor the teachings of the Prophet, nor the Islam.
Islam.
Lord, ourselves and our Father, God, and law. Dear readers, do not forget to use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. Jesus in this context means justice. Islam?
Islam.
On to the chapter. Reading from, I guess, let's say probably the third, fourth paragraph. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect man must pass through all the ways of life, and so a karma was full manifest, a nature that sprung forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. Let's stop there. When I read that, and when I look at this foe, this enemy, what is the prophet trying to get me to understand? He's trying to get me to understand that I have a higher self and I have a lower self. And the lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. But then the prophet goes and takes it a step forward. He says, look, he says, you got 5 universal foes of man.